Welcome. A three-point estimating technique is commonly used to improve project schedule estimates. This slideshow demonstrates the technique and describes the limitations of the technique. Program Evaluation and Review Technique, PERT, is a method for estimating the duration of a project task and the duration of the project. This lecture will focus on the use of the three-point task duration estimation technique. This technique is a bottom-up estimating technique. Three estimates of task duration are identified: an optimistic duration, O, the most likely duration, M, and a pessimistic duration, P. These durations are used to identify the duration that will be assigned to the task. The PERT three-point formula is optimistic duration plus 4 times the most likely duration plus the pessimistic duration is divided by 6. This formula produces a weighted average of task duration. The weighted average becomes the task duration for tasks on the project's critical path. This is an example of PERT estimated means for the design and construction phases of the community play project. Notice that the weighted average task duration sometimes differs from the most likely task duration. This slide shows the critical path of the design and construction phases before tasks on the critical path are adjusted within the PERT weighted average. Notice that the design phase is scheduled to be completed on February 18th and the construction phase is scheduled to be on March 22nd. This slide shows the critical path after the tasks on the critical path have been updated with PERT estimates. Although the design phase continues to be scheduled to be completed on February 18th, the construction phase is now scheduled to be completed on March 18th, 4 days earlier than the unadjusted schedule. The two tasks on the critical path, construct costumes and construct sets, have arrows next to them on the right-hand side of the respective rows. Notice that the estimated PERT duration differs from the most likely duration. The constructing costume task was originally estimated to require 12 days to complete. The PERT duration estimate is 14.7 days. This change is due to the variance in the task estimates. For this task, the sample is right skewed. That means that the task duration is more likely to be above the mean than below the mean. In other words, the task is more likely to take more than the 12 days than it is to take less than the 12 days. That is why the PERT estimated duration is larger than the most likely duration. The constructing set task was originally estimated to require 24 days to complete. However, the PERT duration estimate is 22.3 days. This is because the sample is left skewed. That is, the task is more likely to take fewer than 24 days than it is to take more than 24 days. Therefore, the PERT estimated duration is smaller than the most likely duration. Sample variance has a predictable effect on task duration estimates. The larger the variation in the task estimates, the longer the estimated project duration. In this slide, the most likely durations have stayed the same, but the optimistic and pessimistic estimates have moved farther apart. This means there is more variance in the estimates. The estimate of the time it will take to complete the design and construction phases has increased from 68 days to 77 days. Confidence intervals can be derived from PERT estimates. A confidence interval identifies a range of values between which the actual project or task duration will fall. That interval will be stated with a degree of confidence that is expressed as a probability of correctness. Look at the 75% confidence column for the duration of the design and construction phases of the low variance example shown earlier. The actual duration of the design and construction phases of the project is predicted to be between 59 and 79 days. The probability of the actual duration being between 59 and 77 days is stated as 75%. The probability of the actual duration of being between 45 and 90 days is stated as 95%. Once again, notice the effect that higher variance has on estimates. The higher the variance, the wider the estimated range of duration. It is easy to see how PERT estimates along with the critical path can be valuable. They can be used to adjust the project critical path to make the project duration more accurate, and they can also be used to calculate ranges within which the project is likely to finish. However, although widely used, PERT estimates have significant limitations. PERT estimates are predicted on three assumptions. 1. The critical path of the project doesn't change. If the critical path of the project changes, the duration estimates have been calculated on the wrong tasks. 2. Project completion times fall within a normal or specific beta distribution. You don't need to understand the math to understand the problem. Remember right and left skewed estimates? If the 3-point estimates are skewed differently than the 3 exact curves, the PERT methods don't fit. This slide shows one of the 3 distribution curves that fit the PERT method. Notice that the area under the curve is slightly right skewed. There is more area to the right of the median than there is to the left of the median. First animation. This is a second distribution curve that fits the PERT method. Notice that the area under the curve is equally distributed. There is the same amount of area both to the right and left of the median. The second animation, this is a third distribution curve that fits the PERT method. Notice that the area under the curve is slightly left skewed. There is more area to the left of the median than there is to the right of the median. 3. Task completion times are random independent variables. If the root cause of a delay in completing one task affects another task, the assumption of independence is false. Finally, it has been shown in numerous studies that people underestimate the time it takes to perform work. People consistently underestimate the worst case or pessimistic estimates, and they consistently underestimate how long it will take to perform a task that they are assigned to do. PERT estimating techniques can be very useful. However, confidence in project durations estimated using the techniques should be tempered by understanding the limitations of the methods. Thank you once again for your time and attention, and this is businesstraining.com, where you can earn a master's level qualification to make more money.